So now I'm going to show you how you would use the structure we've just observed and some of the vocabulary we've just learned in order to describe a Sraith Pictiúr. So what's going to happen is that Sraith Pictiúr is the third part of the exam you will encounter, third part of the oral exam. So the first part is on Banu, your 5 questions which you will answer, and then you're going to be asked to read part of a poem or the full poem depending on the length of the poem. So what's going to happen then is the examiner will lay down the Sraith Pictiúr in front of you, whether on the table or whether they are holding them. So you're going to be offered 20 Sraith Pictiúr, but you will not know which is which. You will not necessarily get the same Sraith Pictiúr as the person before you, depending on the examiner. They may rearrange them, or there's no point really asking your friend which one was on the top. And then hoping that this Sraith Pictiúr, for example, was on the top, because there's a good chance that the examiner will have rearranged them in between each student so that every student isn't getting the same Sraith Pictiúr. So it's very important to have prepared all 20 to some extent, whether you prepare them totally off by heart or whether you just prepare vocabulary and some key verbs, because there's no point in wondering on the spot how you conjugate a verb, wondering what cóirdig is in the Amsar Caite, which means to search, or in the Amsar Lóhrach, wondering whether it's in the Céad Réimniú or the Dar Réimniú, wondering in the Anam Bríochar whether it's a córdach or a córdú, and panicking about that on the spot. You're better to have prepared that when you go in there, even if you haven't learned off 100% by heart, and you'll never be stuck then. And really make sure you've prepared all 20, not just 10 of them, because you really leave yourself open to getting stuck then and being uncomfortable. So 20 marks going on Sraith Pictiúr, really large amount of marks, so make sure you have all 20 prepared. So now I'm going to pretend to be a student reciting a Sraith Pictiúr. Sraith Pictiúr. Bhí Seán agus Moira ag siúil síos an phríomhshráid. Agus iad os cór an siopa ceol, tháinig siad go raibh sládmhairge siúil acu. Bhí uirlis i ceol, mar hampla bosca ceol agus clóirseach le feiceáil san inneog. Bhí na fógraí a bhí le feiceáil san inneog as Gaeilge. Bhí áthas orthu an chailge a fheiceáil a bhainneog an siopa. Dúirt Seán go raibh sé de chúlgas orthu an chailge a chur chun cín. Sraith Pictiúr eile. Is léir go raibh fun ar na déagóirí chun dul ar turas go dtí an chailteacht. Chuirde siad cuasaí ar líne. Hasag go chu dul go Gaeltacht chun amara. Thar siad cuasa in áirithe. Bhí siad ag súil go mór leis an gcuasa. Sa tríú Pictiúr. Bhí a lán na déanamh agus iad ar an gcuasa. Bhí ranganna acu gach lá. Thar siad feabhas ar a gcuid Gaeilge nuair a bhí siad ag caint agus ag córa. Bhí céalaí acu gach ihe. Dólam siad rincí nua mar hampla bailí limnaí agus ionsaí na hinse. Jimmer siad spórt gach lá, agus feicimid go raibh siad ag ibert cisfeile ar an trá sa Pictiúr seo. Sa Hathrú Pictiúr. Nuair a dil siad a bhaile, sppragu iad chun a gcuid Gaeilge a chleachta. D'eagraigh siad curcail cainte ag am lóin agus fuair siad deis an teanga a úsáid taobh amuid in seomra ranga. Sa Thuaidh Pictiúr. Bhain siad úsáid as achanaí éagsúla chun a gcuid Gaeilge a dhéobhsaigh. Déis siad le raidió na Gaeltachta agus déich siad ar TG 4 go minic. Sa Pictiúr dearannach. Ag dearann na bliana ag searmanas bronta na scoile. Bronú gradam orthu mar neartí siad an chailge timpeall na scoile agus an cheantar. Bhí gach duine bródú lostú, agus lean siad orthu ag cur na Gaeilge chun céin. Mar a dear an seanachal. Batha teanga I a labhairt. So then what's going to happen now, after I've described the Sraith Pictiúr nice and confidently, the examiner is going to ask you to ask them 3 questions, and you're going to ask them, and they're going to ask you 3 questions as well. So they might ask you the question, Ceir iad na hurlaisí ceol atá le feiceáil sa Sraith Pictiúr. What are the instruments that you can see in the first picture? Or you could ask them the same question, and you would answer it as sa Sraith Pictiúr feicimid bosca ceol, concertine, banjo, clóirseach agus barón. So you're going to say you see an accordion, which is the bosca ceol, concertine, which is concertina, clóirseach or crit, which is a harp, barón, which again is a barón, and a banjo is obviously a banjo. But you've prepared all that vocabulary, so in the event they ask you that, you're fine. Okay, you have that well prepared. They might ask you, Cévid duine atá le feiceáil I Pictiúr iver chathair, for example, and you'll say tá cúigear le feiceáil. So make sure you're not saying cúig duine, which is incorrect. Make sure you're saying cúigear. You're using the ivrecha persanta, personal numbers. So duine, beirt, túr, chathair, cúigear, etc. There's special numbers that are used to describe amounts of people. So again, you can use this. These questions are things that you might ask them or they might ask you. So make sure you have the vocabulary prepared, suitable vocabulary prepared for every picture. You mightn't even be saying it in the Sraith Pictiúr, but it does not mean that they won't ask you it. So they might say, Cé hiad na daoine atá le feiceáil sa Pictiúr Deireanach. So who are the people that you can see in the last picture? So you'll say, in sa Pictiúr Deireanach, is iad an príomhaide Sean agus Moira na daoine atá le feiceáil. So you're going to describe who's in the picture. They might say, conas atá an aimsir sa Pictiu Pictiúr. How is the weather in the third picture? And you'll say, sa Pictiu Pictiúr is léir go bhfuil an chrian ag tapnamh. Or tá an chrian ag scoilte na gloch sa Pictiu Pictiúr. So you're going to describe the weather saying that the sun is shining or the sun is splitting the stones or whatever phrase you have prepared yourself. And they might say in another Sraith Pictiúr, oh, conas a bhochi Sean agus Moira sa Sraith Pictiúr. If you have not said that, they might say, how did Sean and Moira feel? And similarly, you may ask them the same questions. So it's very important to have prepared 5 or 6 questions for each Sraith Pictiúr, for each 6 pictures. And you may be asked one of those or you may ask them one of them. You'll definitely use 3 of the 6 you have prepared and then they will ask you 3 as well. They won't necessarily be 3 you've prepared, which is why it is very important to have prepared your vocabulary. So that is what is going to happen with the Sraith Pictiúr. It's as simple as that. Very easy marks to get if you have them well prepared. 20 Sraith Pictiúr is a lot, but it's a lot to learn off by heart. My personal recommendation would be not to learn everything off by heart, but if that suits you and you feel more comfortable doing that, then that's the right thing to do for you. But what I find most effective is when people learn for key verbs and phrases and have your verbs prepared and know that you want to say ag siúil síos an bóthar. Know that you want to say ag dul go dtí an chailteacht and don't have to be thinking about that on the spot. You can do that if you have very, very good Irish. But at the end of the day, even if you are fluent in Irish, you can still get nervous. We all get nervous in an exam setting. So have something prepared, even if you don't want to learn it off, but word for word from a script. If you do that, yes, you may recite that 100%, but I think your Irish seems most natural when you have some of it prepared and you know it's correct, you're confident that it's correct, and but that it doesn't seem scripted. So if it seems scripted and learned off by heart, it's not that you're going to get any less marks, but it looks like you're something special and that your Irish is very, very good and that you have a very good sense of natural Irish if you're able to describe them yourself using the vocabulary you've learned on the spot. And the thing is to practice them. No matter what you're doing, whether you're learning off by heart or whether you're learning the vocabulary and verbs, rehearse them. Because even if you know all that vocabulary but you haven't rehearsed them, you're kind of thinking, right, what comes next? And you're having to look at the picture and think, right, in this picture here, we have to think about the names of the instruments. Whereas if you have rehearsed that for the last few weeks, the thing is, you'll be very natural and very comfortable anyway. So I would recommend picking 3 or 4 Sraith Pictiúr a week after you've learned them or you've rehearsed them regularly. I recommend starting your Sraith Pictiúr in 5th year, maybe doing 10 in 5th year and 10 in 6th year. So where many teachers prepare them, but the thing is that you must revise them every few weeks. So if you're in Leaving Cert now and preparing your final 10 Sraith Pictiúr or your final 5 Sraith Pictiúr, there's no point completely leaving the Sraith Pictiúr you've learned in 5th year. Even though you've prepared the vocabulary, there's no point leaving them till the night before your oral. Rehearse them from the September you are in Leaving Cert. Rehearse 1 or 2 of those a week and you'll have no problem. Keep going back on them. So a good system might be, let's say if you've 10 weeks set out from September in Leaving Cert, pick a random 10 weeks from the beginning of September, and then pick one old Sraith Pictiúr that you learned in 5th year and one new one that you're learning in Leaving Cert, and do them side by side and do 2 of them a week. And then once those 10 weeks are over, do the exact same thing again for the next few weeks, and maybe do 3 or 4 a week and rehearse them all the time. Do not leave this till the night before, because they're some of the easiest marks you get in the entire Leaving Cert, because you know what you're getting before you go in there. It's like your French document. You have marks going into the written exam because of the Sraith Pictiúr. So they're my tips and tricks for the Sraith Pictiúr, and that's how I would describe them in the Leaving Cert.